Hey, welcome to DogmanTeepeeHunting. If you're listening to this, it will be on the Interdimensional Voyagers podcast. Hope that came out right. If you're listening to this, I meant to say. Thank you for joining us. Hope you had a great week. I have had some technical difficulties. So, what is going to be this week? I've got some things sorted out, other things not. So I'll be doing it on the fly. Okay. It's just lucky that I've got a co-host who is Colin Keelty. And I'll bring him on right this moment. Uh, Everyone say hello, Colin.
Hello.
Hello, mate. How are you?
All right, Phil. Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Oh,
How
good.
about you?
And oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, stress free, man.
Really? You
Honestly.
wasn't 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago, I was throwing a laptop around. I could not believe
Uh,
it. What a
you're screaming at
palaver.
me and calling me all sorts.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's no change, though, is it really? That's
No,
no
that ain't
change,
really.
though.
No, that's true.
So yeah, that's what we'll try and do. What I've done is I've loaded up video, audio, other bits and pieces like that. Some of it with my audio is not working, but I'm going to be working on that in the background, okay, as I go along. And I just want to take this chance also, while people are on, and including yourself as well, Carl, to thank everyone for all the blessings, condolences recently. I really appreciate everyone and for doing it. Absolutely, thank you all. And let's hope this show is going to be a good one. This one's all about portals and do they exist? What are they? Um, Now I get it. Right, we're not gonna find out what they are. We're not gonna find out what they are, but maybe we can piece together a little bit of what we think it could be. And I've got some footage which is quite interesting. When Colin and myself went to Cannock, I didn't see it at the time, but afterwards I saw on the film what looked to be, I think, a portal. So this afternoon, I've been editing a video, making a short, just so I can show it to you guys. A sneak preview, if you like, um, so that we can. All right, just put that on silent. Good. Right. So, right, off with it. What we're going to do is, first off, this week, a guy sent me. Is in America. But a guy sent me footage which is nothing to do with portals, nothing else, but it's really, really interesting. He went to a museum, and when he went to this museum, uh, behind a glass case was this shovel, and it was a museum all about the local area and miners, and tragedy that happened with the miners in the local area. I'm going to be talking to him soon anyway, because he's got a lot of experiences. And if you're watching this, hi, I hope you're okay, mate. I'm just going to play it for you and see what you think. Remember, when you watch this, it's in a museum and it's behind a glass case. This will be interesting, Colin. See what you think of it. Let's
Right.
have a look. All right.
And listen. And they were just about to crawl back when a voice from the German trenches said in perfect English, "If you don't go away soon, we shall really have to shoot you." They went.
Wow. What do you make of that?
Well, it's just vibration.
That's what I said to him. It's just vibration. Remember, it's in a museum though, and he said, "Look, it's Phil. It's behind a glass case."
Do you remember? I don't want to interrupt because there's a famous case, and I can't remember the museum now, down in London. They had an Egyptian figure, and overnight it turned 180. And this went on for many, many years, and they says it was a curse because it was Egyptian and it got rubbed from the tombs, blah, 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 blah.
Mm.
Anyway, some scientists came in, put cameras in, put the measure of vibration. Can't remember what they call them now. Like for earthquakes. I can't think of the name. Anyway, they put all them in, video camera, everything, and the lot, and they found out when the number 46 bus went past the museum, which was this case was against the wall to the road, it vibrated and moved. So the next bus come along, vibrated and moved. So, you know, they debunked that. So this is what I'm thinking with this. And it is a famous case, and I can't remember it offhand. If you'd have told me, I'd have looked it up. But, you know.
Yeah, I thought I'd surprise you with that one. Catch one on the fly.
Sorry, I've read too much stuff over the years. But no, it's a genuine case, and I can't remember which museum it is, but it's in London.
Okay, all right, right, and okay, right, interesting. Because
they did debunk it. They thought it was an Egyptian case, but it wasn't. It was the number 46 bus or whatever it was, going past every half an hour or whatever it was. Honest. So that, I mean, that could be people, could be floorboards under the case, vibrating the case. You know, it could be anything, couldn't it? Could be paranormal.
It could be paranormal. I mean, it was like kind of it just seemed a bit weird to us because I asked him and I said, look, do you think it could be something that, you know, like you said, you know, the vibration, maybe it's right next door to a tram line or you know, subway or something like that. He said, no, Phil, no, and nothing else in the cabinet moves. Nothing else.
I know, but is there a doorway next to it? Is the what's the floor like? Is it concrete? Is it wood? What? You see, I need to know all these facts before even I make a decision.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all about stuff like that. And yeah, it's. I'd like to debunk that one, to be honest.
Okay. No. All right then. All right. We'll debunk that one. We'll debunk that one until.
No offense to sorry, I forgot his name. I'm really bad tonight.
No, I didn't mention it. I think the guy. Hang on, I will have it.
Well, I don't want to, you know.
Yeah. You know,
offend him in any way, you know. But that's my personal opinion.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, you know, you sent it in. I questioned him about it, but you know, I can't. Yeah, Kate. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. She's lovely, Kate is. Yeah, so it's one of those things where I think if it is anything, it's going to be paranormal, definitely. Yeah, but
if it is, yeah, I agree.
You know,
I'll go with that.
but you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll get him on the show, and hopefully, you know, can have a word with him. And
look at that, my mic's moving.
Does your mic work?
Could be paranormal.
That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's like my was awful. I tell you what, people at home, you had no idea. I was running around here squawking like a chicken. My mic wouldn't work, and I was like, "How can I do a podcast when your mic doesn't work?" You know. And I thought, right, sign language. I got no idea on sign language, and I thought, you know, that's not going to work either.
You've given me enough of it.
Right, so now listen. What do you think of portals? What do you reckon? You hear a lot about it when it comes to Dogman and Bigfoot.
I've had no reports to me about portals, but I have spoken to quite a lot. Well, not a lot of researchers, a fair few, I suppose, in a way, in the US mainly. There is a couple in the UK that reckon they've seen portals, but it seems to be more US really, where I've had. You know, Bigfoot, 1 minute there, walk in, portal opens, gone, or vice versa, you know. And so, you know, I don't know much about portals. I know people see them. I've never seen one in my life. I'd love to see one. I do believe they exist. And Einstein had a great theory about portals. So, yeah, I believe they exist. How they're generated is another thing.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
As we said the other week, things to do with crystal. There's a lot of quartz crystal in there, and as you know, it's in everything that we do, from computers to watches, and it generates electricity. So, is that taking part? Like I said before, there's a lot of lakes with a lot of crystal deposits in them, and a lot of creatures have been seen in these lakes. So, you know, is there a connection, Phil? I don't know. You tell me. You seem to know more about this than I do.
I
regret saying that.
I wouldn't go that far.
No,
Yeah.
I
I
tried to
wing
build you up
wing
there.
it.
Come on.
I'll flip and wing it, but
And,
I think what
thanks for the checks in the post, please.
well, I mean, yeah, I think with I was talking to Andy Penn, about this, about quartz, and he was saying that you know, uh, and yourself when you have a river and river flow goes over rocks, and rocks contain quartz, and of course quartz has properties which um, are invaluable for timekeeping and if you run a current through them, then they will vibrate at a certain frequency that never changes. It doesn't alter. It stays exactly the same. The megahertz of the vibration stays exactly the same. Um, it's one of these things where they I think even with scientists, they understand that it's used in watches because it's a constant. It creates a constant megahertz vibration, which we use to judge time by, don't we? Um, Now, I do think that with portals, just recently, I was reading that they've utilized uh, machine learning and AI algorithms to try and work out about black holes. So, uh, AI and machine learning don't really work with infinity. They can't understand infinity. It's almost like years ago, there was no such thing. Many thousands of years ago, there was no such thing as zero. It had to be created because there was no such thing. It's much the same now. It's gone full circle, and computers really don't understand the essence of infinity. Just they can't get to grasp with it. Um, and they set to work using AI and machine algorithms, machine learning, which can cope with copious amounts of computer data at any one time, um, to try and work out what is through a black hole, what happens through a black hole, and it coughed up a most amazing thing, and it coughed up the case that it's basically a information highway, beg my pardon. And it's uh basically what they call a fuzzball through a black hole. And a fuzzball, by that what I mean is they've come to the conclusion, just judging by AI, that the information goes through. So it gathers information, it goes through a black hole, and now I'm talking about information which is in the universe. It gets sucked through. Obviously, it gets sucked through by a black hole, but all of that information gets gathered and is stored in a black hole. And it got me thinking. I thought, with portals, if it can take information, maybe a portal like about maybe it if you were on the other side of a black hole, would that information come out to you as, say, it was information about a, 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 a a new microphone, a microphone that doesn't work, like my one? Then would that come through the other side of a black hole as, oh yeah, no, Phil needed a new microphone? Do you see what I'm saying? Does that information transfer through? And if that's the case, would a portal, when they see beings come through a portal, is that a information superhighway? And what we're actually seeing is the stored information of those beings from another realm, perhaps, but in information form. Hence why a lot of times when people say, I witnessed a portal, there's an energy field around it. It's illuminated. It's a circle, which in nature is the most energy efficient shape. So kind of, is it a case that they're coming through as energy waves, and we're seeing them as a glow, an energy wave glow, and these entities come through. I took some video at Cannock Chase, and I just want to try and play that for you, just so that what it is. Do you remember when my light failed, Cole? And it completely just went dead. And you were down the path a little ways, and I swapped out lights. When I started up the new light, the camera started as also. I swung it across, and I captured something. And I just want to ask you, Cole, and the people at home, have a little look at this footage, and honestly, debunk it. That's fine. But have a look, and I really want to get your opinion on it, because I'm in two minds. Okay, I'll play it for you. Oh, I can't hear you now, Cole. Cole, I can't hear you. Hang on a minute. Oh, not you. It's gone now, isn't it? You're acting up. Do you know what this is? I think the gremlins have been in today. I really do. I think the gremlins have been in. And yeah. Hold on. It's just sorting out the microphone. So what I will do is let me try a little thing while I'm here. I'm going to try and screen a video that I took. Now, it didn't work earlier. So I'm going to try it again and see if you guys can hear it. Let's have a look. Okay, hang on. Let me get it up. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, hang on a minute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
No. I think my connection come out for some reason.
Oh, okay then.
It's pretty fixed in pretty well, but for some reason, just before you do this video,
Yes, mate.
I don't know much about fuzzballs, but this is coming to. I remember reading something years ago about extra dimensions and the string theory. What's that got to do with fuzzballs? Now you know more about this than I do. I'm boots on the ground cryptozoologist, so.
Yeah, string theory is where they believe where it's believed that time and gravity are so basically with our universe, it is on a string, a literal string. And there's many different strings. So think of it like you pick
like
up
roots or.
Yeah, you pick up a handful of pasta before it's cooked, or after it's cooked even. Pick it up and it's like wiggling around. Each one of those is a reality. Each one of those strings would be somebody's reality.
Yeah, I follow that. Yeah, I follow that now.
And with string theory, they're able. You see, it's all part and parcel of. We have trouble with infinity. We have trouble with there has to be a finite to make things conclusive. There has to be a finite end. But with general relativity, it's kind of like with black holes anyway. It's natural for us to say they go somewhere in infinity and go on. To say it stops somewhere would then necessitate the need to say, okay, can you conjecture where it stops and what it stops at? Now that might be time and gravity, but at the moment, because we don't know, we postulate that it's infinity. It goes on to infinity because it's easier to cope with than trying to cope with. It does come to an end. It is a fuzzball. It is basically an information. Think of it like getting loads of different manuscripts, and you tear them all up. Perhaps you tear them all up and you put them into a basket. That basket would be the black hole. So you'd have lots and lots of pieces of information, and they're kind of like, and that is our universe, our past. I wouldn't say future, but possibly, but everything, all the information, the building blocks, everything is in that basket, in that black hole, and it's all a mess, a complete mess. It's in there and it's all torn up, and there's bits of information flying around. And it's a
like this show,
fuzzball.
really.
Yeah, like this show, exactly like this show, exactly like this show.
Sorry, I just
Yes.
wanted to. I remember reading something about fuzzballs years ago, and it was just fresh in my mind. I just need to say it before I forgot it. So I do apologize, Phil.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Thanks
It's
for
the exact opposite to your head, basically.
That's one to you. I need to get on it before the end of the show.
Yeah, I deserve that one. I do deserve that one. That's good. Right, okay. Right. I'm gonna play this little Cannock Chase, and I edited it, all right, to make it easy. I edited it so that I done little explanations in there as well. Give it a whirl, view it, let us know what you guys think, and you, Cole. I you know, kind of, because I know what you like, Cole. I know what you like. So you know, you'll be absolutely brutally honest, and I want you to be. All right, okay. Let's put that on. Oh, no, oh god, what am I doing? Oh, it's all good. There you go. Okay, change the lights out. That's all right. Change the light out. This one died. Yeah, kind of like hear something behind us, you know. Okay, that's what my cat was. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. Let's get at that. Right. Okay. So, what do you think, Shadow?
Doesn't look like shadow, does it? I don't know. It's got its hands up. You can see the elbows.
Yeah.
I don't know, because your light was actually facing the other way, so and my light was up. I was further up the trail. So I don't know, Phil. I really don't know.
I know. It's one of those. I just sort of. I didn't see anything at the time, but you know, we sensed it, and we kept saying to it, "Oh, you know,
We did, didn't we? Yeah. So
there's something. There's something behind this." You know, I could swear. But when I went over the footage again, and I kind of I carefully went over it, there had to be a light behind me to cast my own shadow, because I was holding a light.
It's a woman. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
it does
look.
look.
You mean with a wide bit at the bottom, like a dress, like a Victorian dress, maybe? You see it wide at the bottom, don't you? I can see where it's coming from now.
Yeah, I can see what she means there. Yeah, well, he means, yeah. Sorry, Keith. Yeah, no, I think you see, the thing is, with a shadow, if there's a light, if it was you behind me and you were shining your torch, you would have to be a little ways back, shining your torch on my back.
A long ways back with that torch that I had. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Your torch was like super duper, absolutely burn your eyeballs out. Your torch.
Right.
It was a hell of a bite, isn't it? It was fabulous, really good. And hot as well. Didn't it get hot, your torch?
Yeah, it does. That's why it has the fins on for cooling.
Yeah. So you could do it. I suppose it's possible you could do it, but then with a shadow, it kind of like it would start with my feet and then stretch away.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It wouldn't just project as a figure some 8, 9, 10, 12 foot away from me as a projection of my whole figure, my outline.
I'd have to be way back back on that trail where the main path was. We was in the woods. I'd have to be about that distance with my torch to make that. But then again, it would have lit the whole area up. So
it would have done. Yeah, it would have done.
Yeah, it's a bit weird that you only sent me the stills. That's the first time I've seen the video.
Yeah,
that is very interesting.
That's what I thought. And also, what I found interesting was behind it, where the figure was on the left-hand side, it was really quite deeply dark, and behind it was did you see that, like, kind of, there was a light, like a focused light behind it? Now I was using Joby lights, and Joby lights are got one here somewhere. Joby lights are kind of like this, all right? This is an indoor one, but they're kind of like that, and it's a diffused light. It's not a direct focused light, it's a diffused light, you know, and that's what I was using. That's why your one came in so handy, because I kept saying to you, oh, point your torch over there, point your torch over there, because mine would just give a big spread of light, and that's it. So it wasn't my torch that was focused in behind it, and if it was a torch focused in behind it on that tree behind the figure, then it would have cut a swathe of light through that dark figure, being a shadow. Or am I just talking complete and utter BS?
No, you are talking. Well, it makes a change, but you are talking sense. You are
really. Coming from you, that's something. Thank you.
Okay, I need to earn my money somehow.
It's not my birthday. Checks in the post. Yeah.
I'm just feeling sorry for you, Phil. That's all. No, you're right. You actually, I mean, that's the first time I've seen the video. That's a bit weird. I mean, we caught quite a few anomalies. I'd love to go back. I know we're a bit failed on time for this year, but I've got time off in September, so I'd love to go back. But there's so many anomalies in there that we seem to catch on camera and wonder. That one, I mean, we've just picked on another anomaly today, didn't we? Well, I asked you about your trail camera.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what's happened to mine, and yours has happened to, that is 3 cameras can't go down like that. It's, we'll explain to the the public in a minute, but that is very interesting. That, I mean, like Keith said, it did add like a wide bottom, like a dress, like a medieval Victorian dress. So I don't know.
I think so. I think Keith was right. It is. It's. I mean, it wasn't my. I only really wear dresses on a Friday. I'm wearing a dress at the moment. It looks like a t-shirt, but underneath it's.
And I was going to say, don't stand up.
No. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Was it? I'm a lumberjack, and I'm okay. Yeah.
That's a classic, isn't it? Oh.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The green screens that happen on the trail cams, and I don't know if anyone at home has it, but on your trail cams, do your trail cams pick up at home at night? When you put a trail cam, do they actually do trigger, and do they work at night? Because I bought one off Amazon. It's a, oh god, I forgot what name it is now, but it's a A3 something trail cam, and it seems okay, doesn't it? It's a middle of the road one.
It is, and as far as I'm concerned, I set it up. I mean, I've had trail cams for years, and I've lost a few, but they was definitely set up. But mine did the same. Only one of my cameras picked up a night image, and it was of that leaf, because when we went up that hill to put on that tree. Yeah, we bent a leaf down. Obviously, that must have sprang back up, and it took a picture of that. But and that's the only night one I got. I got the same as you, nothing through the night. But when I got home, this is what it is. When I got home, I tested my trail cams. I put new batteries in, put them out because I've been out in the field. Picked them back up, and I've got half a screen. It's all green, but half the screen at the bottom's all lands. The top half is all green, and you can't make a damn thing out on both of them. I thought, what the heck's going on here? So I reset them, went back to factory settings, changed the from 180 to 720, short bursts, everything. Just tried to save the battery power as much as I could in them, reset them back up, put them back out, then they're doing the same thing. Anyway, today I said to Phil, have you checked your game camera? Is it working all right? And you said the same thing, didn't you?
Yeah.
You said you kept hearing a buzz. You picked up a buzz on audio? No, I think it's for magnetic anomaly, or something's knocked our cameras out totally. Why? You tell me, because I don't understand. I've even Googled it, and I can't find any answers.
Yeah, I'll have to. What I'll have to do, I'm going to try and put. I may not be able to hear it, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try and put up a couple of things. One being about the fuzzball portal thing, which I've done on AI. I'm going to try and put that up. If you guys can hear it, that's fine. It's good enough for me. But yeah, with the green screen thing on the trail cams, Cole's right. He messaged me. We spoke this afternoon, and he said about it. He said, "Oh, have you had the same problem?" I said, "Well, yeah, and more. I had the flipping my camera, which I was taking footage on, and you know when." I was explaining to you, Cole, one night, when you kind of like take footage and video, and then it dumps it in your library, and you get little thumbnails, don't you, of that footage, and it's kind of usually the first few seconds. The first few seconds of that footage on about three of the videos were just that green, very light green color, very just pixelated green.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
And I don't get it.
On my 2-guard, it's really bad, and that was the most expensive one. On my Victor, it's very slight, but it's there, but you still can't make images out very clearly. It's so blurry. I don't have 2 trail cameras that just stop working after visiting them, Cannock Chase. It's what is it? It's not coincidence, is it? Can't be.
No.
With yours doing it as well, it's not coincidence.
No.
I can understand one of them, because one of them's old. One of them's 3 years old. The other one's about 6 years old, and I've lost a few of the years. People have nicked them, but that's another thing. But, 3 cameras to do that out of Cannock Chase. There's something going on. Now we did clip this afternoon, did we? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't cotton to it. I didn't think to mention it until you mentioned it, and then I thought, oh yeah, hang on, Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah, it was green. You know, and what gets me as well is why won't it trigger at night?
Yeah,
Why
man,
not
what?
at night?
No. And I used them about 3 weeks prior to going in there. Maybe 4 weeks before we went in there, and it was working perfectly. And I got night shots, got deer, pheasants, you know, no problem. Now it didn't do it at Cannock Chase, did it? Yours failed. I mean, I only got one night picture, and it was a leaf, but they just failed. I can't get my head around it. I'm sorry. If there's anybody up there can explain to me what was going on, please do, because it's worse than the fuzzball. It's gone way over my head. I can't work it out.
No,
Really can't. Sorry.
I don't know why. I don't know why at nighttime it shouldn't trigger. There should be plenty of. I mean, I'll tell you what. Where Cole set up because I'd never used trail cams before, right? And Cole, I got a trail cam off Amazon, and Cole said, "Yeah, I'll set it up for you, Phil." So he set it up. Brilliant. He even put it on the tree for us. And there was like a little branch, wasn't there, right near it. And I thought, oh, I don't know, you know. And it was at a choke point. It was a good part where we put it because it was like a choke point in this forest. It was everything came down onto a little hard, like a path that went across this stream. Otherwise, you'd have to kind of jump across this quite a wide stream, really. So it was a bit of a choke point, and I thought, well, you know, like Cole said, you know, it's a good place to put it, Phil. Good place to put it, you know. And I thought, oh, okay then. But I thought even with like leaves and twigs and whatever waving in the wind, you know, it would trigger it. No. And these trail cams, you have to remember that, you know, they've got three PIR sensors, two offset facing this way, left and right, and then one dead in the centre, aren't they?
There is on yours. There ain't on mine. Yeah, mine's different rakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never had a problem with night vision. I've never had a problem.
You know, that and the buzzing as well, Cole. I don't get it. That buzzing was just.
I think that could have been, like you say, we kept coming across, you know, gas pipe markers. It well could be because I have had, you know, I work in the gas industry and I've been in refineries, and you do get a hum. So that could have been. But you says there was another hum that you kept hearing, didn't you? Something. Not there, somewhere else, wasn't it? You kept sort of like,
no,
I got said, can you hear it? No, I couldn't hear it.
That's right. It was like a really low infrasound kind of hum, and the microphones picked it up, thank goodness. So because of technical difficulties, I can't actually play. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and put something on. I'm gonna share a let's have a look.
You keep coming across Bill like Norman Collier at the moment. I don't know if it's your technical or is it me or
do I?
You do to me. I don't know if you to anybody else.
Oh right, okay.
You're right now.
Am I? Okay. Right. Good. Yeah. All right, and that's right. Yeah, it could be the microphone that's playing up. I may need a new microphone. Yeah, I might need a new microphone. You never know. Might need a new microphone.
Yeah.
That's for sure, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a MV7.
Yeah, they're good. They are. Yeah, they are good. Yeah, no, I've seen those ones. This one's just a. It was a cheap and cheerful Joby. This one, you know, that I got, and I thought, oh well, you know, got it on they had a deal with Jobies, and I picked it up from Argos. I think it was about 60, 70 quid, something like that. It was only like a cheap thing, really. Roxy B says sound okay. That's all right. Well, there again, yeah. But right, I'm going to try and let me just try and get the audio file up for us. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to get it up. Downloads, right. Right, it's 1 minute. Okay, right. One memento. Okay.
You're not getting
Preset.
any buzzing off me, are you, at all?
Hang on, hang on.
Sorry.
Right, let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Hang on.
Deep inside, right at the center.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about
Can you
black
hear
holes.
that?
What actually happens
Yeah.
way down deep inside, right at the center?
Yeah. That's one of the biggest puzzles in science, really.
It's where our best physics just seems to collide, right?
Exactly. You've got general relativity, great for gravity, massive objects predicting this point of infinite density, a singularity,
Right.
but then quantum mechanics, which handles the super small stuff, basically says, hold on, infinities like that just don't happen.
So they fundamentally disagree.
Mm.
And for what decades we've needed something to bridge that gap.
Pretty much. We've been stuck without a unified theory and honestly without the right tools to even, properly look at the problem.
But it sounds like that might be changing. Our sources for this deep dive mentioned some really interesting tech combos being used now.
Mm-hmm. Astronomers, physicists, they're bringing in quantum computing and machine learning. It's quite a breakthrough, actually.
Quantum computing and machine learning. Okay. So our mission today is to dig into how these tools are letting us model what's inside a black hole and, well, what they're starting to see.
That's the plan. It's leading to some surprising ideas.
All right, let's get into it. How can you even use a quantum computer or machine learning for something as, well, as extreme as a black hole interior?
Well, the quantum computer part is key because the environment inside, near the core, it's all about incredibly complex quantum fields, all tangled up.
Oh.
Classical computers, supercomputers, they really can't simulate that level of quantum complexity properly. Not all the possibilities at once. Quantum computers, though, are kind of built for that.
So they run these incredibly detailed quantum simulations of that environment.
Got it.
And then where does the machine learning fit in?
Right. So these simulations, they produce just unbelievable amounts of data, way too much for a person to sift through effectively.
I can imagine.
So machine learning algorithms get turned loose on this data. They're designed to hunt for patterns, connections, things in the quantum behavior and the space-time geometry that we might miss.
Like finding a signal in the noise almost.
Exactly. Finding the hidden code, you could say, within all that simulated chaos.
Okay, finding a code. So what's the message? What picture is starting to come out of all this processing?
The big headline, really, from the sources we looked at, is growing evidence for something called the quantum fuzzball model.
The fuzzball. Okay, that definitely sounds less pointy than a singularity. How's it different?
Well, the singularity is that mathematical point of infinite density, zero size. All the problems stem from that infinity.
Right.
The fuzzball idea suggests the core isn't an infinite point at all. It's proposed to be a finite region, still incredibly dense and chaotic, mind you, but finite.
So like a ball, tangled.
Kind of, yeah. Imagine maybe a tangled mess of quantum strings or loops or just pure information packed into a sphere. Space-time and the quantum fields are all mixed up in there, but it has structure, it has a finite size. It avoids that problematic infinite collapse.
Okay, that immediately solves the infinity issue.
Yeah.
And the source material connected this to the information paradox, right? That long-standing headache.
Yes, definitely. The paradox is basically if you throw something into a black hole, is the information about it, what it was made of, totally gone forever?
Which quantum mechanics says shouldn't happen. Information can't just vanish.
Exactly. The old singularity picture made it seem like information was destroyed. But a fuzzball, being this complex quantum object, well, it has places to store that information.
So it's not destroyed, it's just encoded,
Yeah.
woven into the fuzzball structure somehow.
The idea. And the machine learning aspects of the simulations actually help track how information behaved near and inside the simulated event horizon, supporting this encoding concept.
Wow, okay, potentially solving the paradox is huge.
The sources also mention the holographic principle. How does that tie in?
Right, the holographic principle is another deep idea. It suggests, roughly, that all the information needed to describe a volume of space might actually be encoded on its boundary surface, like a hologram.
Sounds pretty wild.
It is, and it's seen as a key link between gravity and quantum theory. So they used AI, specifically deep learning, a type of machine learning, to analyze the simulation data and test this principle in the context of the black hole interior.
Testing fundamental physics with AI.
Yeah, probing space-time geometry down at the tiniest possible scales, the Planck scale, based on the simulation results. It's all about inching closer to that grand goal. a quantum theory of gravity.
Okay, stepping back then. Using these advanced tools, quantum computers, AI, to model black hole guts. Why does this matter for, us? What's the bigger picture significance? Well, fundamentally, understanding black holes pushes us to understand space, time, gravity, matter at their absolute limits. This work is a real step towards finally reconciling general relativity and quantum mechanics, which is like the holy grail for a lot of physics.
So it has ripple effects.
Huge ones. Into cosmology, how the universe works on the largest scales, into the foundations of quantum mechanics itself, and maybe even down the line into quantum information science. It's still early stages, of course, but using these tools feels like a leap forward.
It really does feel like we're getting tools sharp enough to finally start probing these incredibly deep questions. So thinking about this fuzzball idea, if information isn't lost, but just encoded in this weird quantum state, what does that even suggest about reality? About what we can ultimately know about these extreme places?
That's the question to ponder, isn't it? It suggests reality might be stranger and maybe more interconnected than we thought. The journey inside is really just beginning.
Absolutely. Something for all of you to think about. Keep asking those big questions.
Okay, right. Wake up, everyone. All right. I know it's hard going. It was hard going, but hey, and guess what? I'm back on. I can actually hear the stuff that I want to do. The reason I wanted to talk about portals was because I interviewed a guy a little while back called Mathew Johnson. Yeah, Dr. J. Okay, and he sits on the Council of 12 for the Zanu, and the Zanu are people of we would call Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and he years and years ago met communicated with these Bigfoot, and he called them Bigfoot. But then they said to him, "No, our name is Janu, but it's spelled Zanu. It's Zanu." But now he had two English, I think they were English guys, and they went over to visit him, and he said, "Right, I'm going to take you over, take you into the forest, and you can meet the Janu, as it were. But they're
Oh,
shy. They're
who were the
going
English
to
guys?
weren't they English?
Who were they?
Ah, right. Okay. What I'm going to do, because do you know what? It's been such a long time. I've actually forgot. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to play you an excerpt of that. Okay. Now it was a big thing. There was a bit of a to-do between Dr. J and them. And I wanted to interview him to get
Been
the
arguing.
yeah. So right, okay. Let's have a look.
In 2014, a portal was accidentally discovered at the Southern Oregon Habituation Area, otherwise known as SOA, by a couple of gentlemen who were visiting, Adam Davies and John Carlson. We had 2 nights
know
of
them well.
good activity from the 9 o'clock to the 12 o'clock to the 3 o'clock position on the perimeter.
Yeah. Do you know them?
Yes, I do. Adam's in America now, and he lives there now. He is an English guy. Yes.
Okay.
They discovered a print that's come quite famous. I can see the print. It will come to me in a minute. The point is, I've got that much rubbish in my head. I can't.
No, that's fine. Do you know what? When you, the thing is, it's my fault because I didn't have. I was having so much problem. I wanted to this afternoon get all the videos done. So like, even Cole will know this. Anyone that goes on YouTube and they're putting together videos, it takes an awful long time to do even a 5-minute video when you're doing the editing and cutting and everything else. It takes forever to try and piece it together in a way that can be kind of like linear, so it just plays and it runs and it's self-explanatory. But that's what I was trying to do, and it left me very little time when I was coming live to you guys. That's why I was running late, and I'm really sorry for that. And I didn't have time with Cole to properly prep So I was going to say, what I should have done is like, oh, I'm also going to play a bit of this video for Dr. J. So of course that's why, when I talk about these two guys, basically what it is, the two guys, I'll play it, but the two guys witnessed the portal, and they had an argument at Dr. J because they were saying that with Dr. J, he didn't witness it.
When was this actually happening, Phil? Because last time I spoke to Adam was about 3-4 months ago, and he's never ever mentioned it to me.
Oh well, do you know, it
I was
was
supposed to
such
go to America last year to meet him, funny enough, but the long story, I never ended up going. But
right.
yeah, when was it?
Do you know? I think it's in the video. I forget when it was. He mentioned to me that it was a few years ago. It was a few years ago. It wasn't recent. It was a few years ago. But there was a terrible to do between them. Real terrible.
Okay, no, I never knew this.
Right. Okay, right. I'll play it for you. Hang on a minute. Let's have a look. Right. But the portal business is quite interesting when he talks about that.
Okay.
And by the third night, they were freaked out, so they were staying away from that area. They were on the other side of the Suburban, smoking backwoods cigars and engaged in nervous joke telling and laughter. And then they started walking toward the 6 o'clock position on the perimeter, which was a logging road that came up to the base camp. And so I'm sitting in base camp looking at the 12 o'clock, interacting with the Bigfoot, and they're yelling my name, Matt, come here. And I'm a little miffed. It's like, you guys come here. This is where the activity is. You came all the way to interact. Come here. And they're like, no, come here. So I finally get up and walk around the Suburban, and boom, there's the portal. And I'm like, whoa. And they go, what is that? I said, I don't know. I said, I've been up here for 8 years. I've never seen that before. What did you guys do? And they said, we just walked towards it, and it opened up. And so it took a year for me to problem solve and figure out how that portal got opened up. And I finally put it together. I would take my guests to the Oregon Vortex, or the House of Mystery, Oregon House of Mystery, outside of Grants Pass, Oregon. And, there's a lot of electromagnetic energy in that area that distorts perception. And apparently we were bringing back that residual energy on our bodies back to camp. So, and Adam and John had that residual energy on their body the year before. And so when they walked near the portal, that's how they were opening it up. And the year later, in the summer of 2015, we were opening up that portal repetitively with.
So, yeah. So, what do we think so far? Residual energy. I know what you're going to say, Carl.
Well, go on. I'll let you go.
I obviously I think that it's it's there's going to be some form of energy. There has to be. I don't actually think that. See, Dr. J's got a machine, and the machine looks like a Catherine wheel, if you like. And when you spin it, when you turn it by hand, it kind of on the outside of it, I think it's got these magnets, and these magnets go past
the one where he puts a ball bearing in it, is it?
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah, that type of thing. It creates like almost like an arcing machine. It creates like electricity, like a piezo kind of electricity, to open up a portal. But I don't know about residual energy on the clothing or on the bodies going back. you know, to create a portal, because what these guys witnessed, and those people that you know, the two guys that you know said that they saw the portal, it was red, and there was red-eyed entities coming out of it towards them.
Did they see any figure? Do you know?
Yeah, I'll play it. I'll play it. It's incredible story, you know.
Several witnesses. And so after that happened, we had somebody threw SOA under the bus, and trolls came into camp and filmed themselves pissing all over the camp and drinking beer and declaring the whole camp a hoax and leaving in 15 minutes later. And put the coordinates out for the rest of the world to know where the camp was. And so my wife and I felt like we got kicked in the gut. So we thought everything was over. And then I got a telepathy of mind speak saying, we're going to take you to a new camp. And I'm like, okay. So we were at an interim camp in between the old and the new camp. And I got approached around 2 a.m, woken up from my sleep from Onks, who told me about the history of the Janu and how they came from one planet, their home world, to the Earth. And the story is so much longer, and I'm trying to simplify it and shorten it.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Right. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to roll it back a bit just to get to that part where those two guys, because just get back to that part where those two guys saw those bits those entities coming out.
Schwarzenegger movie, or the coming off a highway in Arizona.
So yeah, it does back up what you say an awful lot.
And so the Traycon are more menacing. They're which takes them out of our foot until they.
I got the video up and running again. 1 minute for such a beautiful thing.
Well, so during my journey of, away from that area, they were on the other side of the suburban ability to manipulate the portals to go through it. So they wanted me to help them with a shunt. And I said, a shunt? Yeah, a shunt. And I said, you mean a stent? No, not a stent, which is for hearts, right? They want a shunt. Yeah. Shunt wasn't in my vocabulary. I didn't know their home world to the Earth. And the story is so much longer, and I'm trying to simplify it and shorten it.
Sure. Right,
and researching the Bermuda Triangle and the portals there. And he wanted to come to SOA to see that portal.
Hold on, Mr. J. Hold on.
Caught up in, you either believe me or you don't. And
same with Dogman, same type of thing. But I try and take photographs. I'll tell you why I do, because you've got photographic evidence.
You're entitled to your own opinion. It doesn't matter to me anymore. There's plenty of people out there who do believe me, who had 3 strokes, crippled half side of her body, and came to camp with her husband. And by the end of the 3rd day, she passed over her.
One of these entities, Janu, Bigfoot, and big crab's going to just beat the crab out here, but it's an entity which is there to.
The Traycon.
Wait. It was a feeling of just stay.
Yeah, otherwise known as SOA. I would take my guess. Okay. Shunt, and I said, "You mean a?"
Well done.
And
losing it, Phil.
That machine we turned on.
I'm trying to get to that bit where really
after we met with the council at 12. While I'm thinking about it,
I got 2 minutes because I need a wee. Can I go?
Along the beach
go
in the blue ocean.
Go for a wee.
And it was
obviously
the SOA place. SOA is
dual energy on their body.
Okay, I'll go to different places.
because I was on the other side of the Suburban, and I'm telling them to get back here.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It was like
mm,
I had to.
they
They
active, much more active at night.
exactly. John came from New Jersey.
Active, much more active at night. Okay, right. Okay then. All right then. I'm going to play it. This is the part. I'll play it. I think Carl's gone for a wee actually. Even though he's fell asleep somewhere. But let's just have a little check of the comments and see. There's no reflection gardens where it was. Yeah. Yeah, he runs Anu. Yeah, Keith, that's right. Yeah. Fox and Fox. Where was that one? Didn't read that one. Could residual energy and the hitchhiker effect actually be the same thing? Well, it depends on whether or not the residual energy would have any effect. Because you've got the hitchhiker effect, haven't you? So the hitchhiker effect kind of is where you experience something either paranormal, something moving in your house, thumps, bangs, something scratching at your door after you've visited somewhere, or after you've witnessed maybe or been close to a dogman or Bigfoot, and that entity would kind of hitchhike back with you and follow you back, which there have been accounts of it. Now, whether or not they're in energy form, I've spoken to people, and there's one lady in America, Tonya, I think her name was Tonya Ashton, if I remember rightly. I interviewed her. Now, she said to me there was when she moved into her house, she went into the woods. When she came back from the wood, both a Bigfoot and a Dogman had followed her back home. Hi, Cole. We're just talking. I put up this question about could residual energy and the hitchhiker effect actually be the same thing?
It is.
And it is, you think?
Well, I think there's a connection. Just while I remember where it's fresh in my head, while I was rushing downstairs, Adam Davis is famous for the orang pendic print in 2001 in Sumatra. It come to me as I was going downstairs. That's what he's famous for. He actually found a print. It's only a small print, but that's what he's actually famous for. While I remember, sorry, just while it's fresh.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, yeah, that's sorry, good. Phil. No, no, yeah, go gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. So yeah, I think with residual energy, personally, Tonya, I was talking to American. She came back and she swore. She said, "Do you know what, Phil? I have seen Bigfoot in my house as residual energy, as an energy form." I said, "Well, what do you mean by energy form?" She said, "Well, do you know, Phil?" She said, "It's almost like I can make it out. I can make out the outline of it. It's huge, huge hulking thing." And it was definitely, I felt it was that. And I said, "Right, in the kitchen?" And she said, "Yeah." And I was like, "Wow, okay." And she's so specific, Tonya was in the interview. She was so very, very specific. She was talking about, because it's one of the things which a lot of Facebook pages battle about. I'm Bigfoot, we're Camp Bigfoot, we're Camp Dogman. And it's a bit like that TV program. I won't name it, either Camp
Skeptic every week.
Yeah, the one that every week.
Yeah, just either for the
Camp Camp Skeptic or Camp Believer or Camp Skeptic, isn't it? And it's all paranormal. That's a paranormal program. I don't like that idea. I don't like that idea because
no, we have discussed this, haven't we?
Yeah, it doesn't sit well with me. There is grey area. There is grey area, and we deal every single day, and you at home every single day have to deal with grey area. And you know, it's not as easy as no or yes. It's not as easy as that, because there's things which happen in people's lives which people want to talk about, have spoken about, which are almost absurd. I just keep saying it, absurdly ridiculous stuff that moves or happens, or they see, or shadows in the room, or growling, or this. That is so ridiculous, so absurd that it sounds stupid to tell anyone about it. So that is grey area to me. That's not a yes. That's not a. I can't be a skeptic and say, "Ah, no, it's a load of old rubbish," that, because it happens to so many people. If it didn't happen to so many people and so many people spoke about it, I would kind of, you know, say, "Oh, well, you know, yeah, it's one off." Obviously, the kind of like, you know, the sectioning, but no, it's not. It happens to an awful lot of people out there. It's happening more cold, isn't it?
It does. You're right. It does.
You know. Right. Let's get on. Yeah, let's get on to this thing, because you know these, or you know of these people, being of your cryptozoology experience, you obviously know about these people. So right, I'll play it now. Here we go. It's right at the bit. Right.
Exactly.
So it was nice of you to take them out and to go to different places, you know, because you know, it's a long drive going down there. It's a long drive getting back, and also it's just nice. You treated them very much as guests, which is great. You know?
Well, Adam came all the way over from England. John came from New Jersey, and we're right there. And like Crater Lake is like, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, you have to see Crater Lake. You have to see the redwood forest. And so it was like nothing really happens during the day. So I'll take the guests to go see some very beautiful parts of the Pacific Northwest. And they enjoyed it. But I got, you know, when the whole truth came out a year later, I got hammered by people about how could you go to sleep? And it was like, I had to. They napped during the day. They got their sleep.
Yeah.
I got none. I had to sleep.
Yeah. Like, can we
And
get
that
this?
also lets you know how scared I was, right? That I could go to sleep and my boy could go to sleep while they're freaking out with my 44 meg.
Listen, Dr. J, can we get I think what gives more of a picture for people at home is the timeline of, let's concentrate on the portal bit. So the timeline, on the first night, the portal didn't arrive, correct? The second night, the portal didn't arrive. It was
because we were all up in the 9 to 12 to 3 o'clock position on the perimeter looking that way, and the portal was behind us the other way.
On the 6 o'clock
on
position.
the 6 o'clock position, yeah.
Okay, so on the third night, it was then that was it Adam Davis or was it John Colson that saw it first?
Well, they were both on the other side of the Suburban, ignoring the main part of the base camp where all the Bigfoot activity was. They were overwhelmed. So they were back there smoking their backwoods cigars, telling jokes, laughing, and they started going for a little walk down that logging road where the 6 o'clock position is, and that's when they triggered the portal together.
Right. They triggered the portal, then they shouted after you, right?
Yep, they did. And I was annoyed because I couldn't see a portal because I was on the other side of the Suburban, and I'm telling them to get back here. This is what you came up here for, you know? So I was a little miffed. And because I also knew they were coming up to bust me for hoaxing, which I wasn't hoaxing.
Okay.
And they were ignoring everything. So anyway, I eventually got up out of my chair, walked around the Suburban, and that's when I saw the portal.
Okay, right. Let's get your angle on the portal. What did it look like, Mr. J?
It was round, and it was probably 12, 15 feet in diameter, and you could look through it and see scraggly vegetation, kind of black, and red sky behind it, and then 2, 3 foot tall, 3.5 foot tall guardians with glowing red eyes were there to, more or less keep us from going through. And then
Okay.
Adam Davies and John Carlson were like kids with a garage door opener. They opened the portal, then they took their flashlights, shined it on the portal, which shut it down. And then they walked close to the portal with the energy. They didn't know they had the energy. I didn't know they had the energy. Took me a year to figure out that that's what opened it up. But nevertheless, they walk closer. Portal opens up. They back off. They shine the flashlight. It shuts down. And they kept being little kids with a garage door opener, opening it up, closing it down, opening it up, closing it down. And they were pissing off the guardians. And then they talk smack to the guardians, kind of like, just kind of yelling at them and being disrespectful. So the guardians kind of did an aggressive lunge towards them to get them to back off. They never touched them. They never hurt them. They never tried to kill them. But Adam and John were freaking out and assuming the worst, which is why I walked past them with my gun, the 44 mag. And they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like trying to get them to calm down. So I walk down there and I say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I had no idea who I was or what I was dealing with at that time. And I go, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And if you don't back off, I'm going to stick my 44 mag down your throat and blow your head off. And then I turned around and I walked back towards John and Adam. And I laid my gun down on the table and I said, okay, here's the gun. I'm going to bed. And I went to bed because I needed to sleep.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. So, right. What do you think?
You don't need my honest opinion on that, do you?
Probably not. No. Probably not. But what I found interesting.
I don't know what I make of it, to be honest. I really do. I think from both sides there's a bit of up and down with the truth there. Yeah, there could be a problem. And I reckon there could be. There's a lot of people going missing in these national parks, like the 411 with Pleiades. So that might explain why people do go missing. That's maybe one of the theories. I don't know what I think, to be honest. I'm not over keen on Mr. Johnson, to be honest. I will tell you my theory off air. This is my personal theory. So I don't know really what I'll make of it, to be honest. I'm going to have a word with Adam. So get his account of this encounter, see what happened. Not that he's maybe going to tell me, I don't know. But, I'll get back onto you that, Phil.
Yeah.
About that.
No.
I don't know really. It sounds obviously it is feasible. I'm not saying it didn't happen. If it did, I don't think I would have gone to bed. I'd have been. And if them dwarfs did come out and weed everywhere over the camp, the first thing I'd be doing after as soon as they're gone, I'd be trying to get a soil sample of the wee. Things like that. I'm trying to get some evidence that they've been there. If it's my first time there.
With Mr. Johnson, after talking to him at great length, he's a intelligent guy.
Yes, he seems it.
He's indeed very intelligent. He's very coherent in his experiences. There's no grey area with him. He's very forthright. He's very he did meet them. He is I have spoken to other witnesses and people who said that his camp Zanu, where he lives, there are forest people. There is forest people.
I've read these accounts. So I do believe it,
So I did say to him, and I spoke to Gordon Dodds as well, who's head of the Zanu of in the UK Facebook. Again, nice guy. But I spoke to him, and I was like, you know,
I know you mean that.
yeah, and you know, it's kind of you see, I thought first of all it was run like a they're kind of covering up business, if you like. They're talking about it so people come to the Camp Zanu and, you know, buy the books and everything else. But then when you dig a little bit deeper, in all fairness, when you dig a little bit deeper, they don't charge a lot of money, about $200 to stay, and they give you bed, board, food, all the rest of it. So it's quite, it's, you know, they're not making an awful lot out of it. So that boils down to this: those two chaps, that one English guy, if Matthew wouldn't talk about them wielding a gun and being frightened about something in the forest which looked like a portal for no reason. He wouldn't create that story, because if you lie, you can lie about your life. Yeah, you can lie about yourself, and you can lie about your own predicament. You can lie about that because it's more within your control. You can't, it's very difficult to lie on behalf of somebody else and get away with it, because that somebody else has got their own mind, their own voice, and they will say, hang on a minute, no, that didn't happen. Yeah,
so I don't know this camp. I actually know a lady, spoke to a lady, she lives North Cave Way in England. I don't know if you know where North Cave is, North and South Cave. She went on this camp, what was it, about, what was 5 years ago, roughly, and she reckoned she saw Bigfoot. And, you know, it's apparently it's a regular thing. These guys know, you know, Dr. Johnson knows where they are, and he took them straight down to it, and there it was, boom, come out. So, you know, I'm not doubting the fact, you know. But you're right.
Have you seen the comment? We have Camp Zanu at Cannock Chase.
I just said.
Keith Ashton. Yeah.
We'll have to go.
Yeah. That's it. We should go. I'd love to go.
I'd love to go. I want to go back to Cannock Chase. I tell you now, I really do.
Yeah. No, I'm always up for Cannock Chase. Always up for Cannock Chase.
The next time I've got off is September. So.
Well, maybe we should do something then. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
sorry.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So. Back to portals.
Yeah.
Back to portals. I just want to say hi, Rich. I don't think he would. I don't honestly think that he would kid around or put his. You see, he's got a lot to risk by lying. He's got a lot to risk. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, kind of how he talks about the men, you know, kind of like with the garage door open, close, simply because logically I can't understand how they could open and close it.
No, I can't. I can't get my head around that, but I suppose it's possible.
Yeah. But because he's got, you know, I can't see him lying about the actual portal itself when two separate other guys coming to visit him saw it as well, and were scared to such an extent when they saw those entities coming out, were running around with a firearm. So it would be really interesting if you did contact your mate and ask him yourself, you know.
Just a guy I know. Mate. Yeah, okay, Phil. Yeah.
Well, you probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I say that loosely speaking. I say that loosely speaking.
Yeah, I do,
mate,
yeah.
You know, yeah,
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. I can count on one finger how many mates I got. But yeah, it's that's the way of social media now, though, isn't it? No, I don't
family though, aren't they?
Yeah. You know, but But yeah, it's
Yeah. Anything
you
else?
know,
Come on, let's.
well, I think that with the people disappearing in the forest and the snippet of audio that I played, that is legit. That is actually with the scientifically uh, 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 postulated at the moment that they believe that information it's not infinite, a black hole. And if a black hole, people often say to me, have you seen a portal? No, I haven't, but I have seen a black hole. And I believe black holes you could construe as being a portal. And if that's the case, and there is a case that they store information, then perhaps with a portal that we see in the forest, these entities coming out are stored information from maybe another realm of somewhere. I don't like it when people say dimensions because it confuses things. There's no way we can have another dimension in our known universe. Yeah, we've got 4 dimensions, including time. But if we had another dimension come in, it would push everything out because there'd be too much matter. There'd be too much for us here. So everything would kind of like it would be like a ball on a billiard table being fired at a stack of balls, and it just scatter everywhere if another dimension came in. But I do think that with portals, they are here. They do open and close randomly. I'm not sure what the trigger is. I say that because once again, it's not team skeptic, it's not team believer. It is a case, it's that grey area. It's that that's that guy in Scotland that when a little while back it was, I've forgotten the name of the guy. He was a backpacker, but also he was a young guy. He was a backpacker, Cole, and I saw a video on him. And he was really seasoned. He was a proper outdoors guy, proper, done loads of videos outdoors. And he used to hard work, not like a burner like I would have, fire up, put the gas canister on, fire it up, look at me cooking. No. This guy like sticks together with a flint, proper,
Proper bushcraft.
yeah, proper bushcraft stuff, and he went missing. His dad doesn't know. His dad was interviewed about
yes, I
it.
do, yes.
And his backpack was found by a lake.
Yeah.
Anyway, they searched the lake. Only a young guy, wasn't he? It was about 30 something. Anyway, but he was a very
if I remember right.
Yeah, somewhere around that mark. Yeah. And it struck me when I saw the video and I felt so sorry for the guy. And the dad was talking, and dad said, look, my son wouldn't just have an accident. He wouldn't just fall off a rock. He wouldn't just fall into the lake and drown. He wouldn't. He said he's one of the most aware and seasoned outdoorsmen that he knows.
I remember that. I can't think of his name, to be honest, offhand.
I can't think of his name.
But there's quite a few cases. I know there's one being up at Scarborough years ago. He popped out for a pack of fags. I think it was about 15-20 minute walk to the shop. Well, it's a garage. I found him in the woods further on next morning, laid flat on his face, his boots off, all neat, tidy. So they put it down to hypothermia because it was cold all the night. Why does he take his boots off and lay down? And it don't make sense, does it, really? There's been a few cases like that over the years in the UK.
And it's just odd. It's like Clapham Woods. When I went to Clapham Woods, that priest disappeared, and the amount of dogs you often get, like, I mean, the amount of times you see kind of like little. It's so sad. You see these little signs nailed up on trees or nailed up on posts, mostly, with missing pets in this wood, and you're like, hang on a minute. Clapham Woods, there was horses, just 2 horses that actually bolted, never seen. Horses. Like, what?
Yeah, so it's mind-boggling, really, what's happening. But again, does it come down to this pothole theory? Something opening up, taking them, and bringing them back dead, and laying them out. What, you know, whatever. Is it aliens? Is it, what is it? Is it Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Is it Dogman? You know, you tell me. I don't know.
I mean,
there's a connection somewhere with it all, but you know what it is.
I mean, I think a lot of times, I mean, it's known that Dogman kind of like and cats don't get on.
No, that's true.
They don't get on. That's what he, you know, and they kind of like torture cats. They will torture them. They're like, you know, dogs they will like unlive as well. But cats in particular they don't like, which takes you back also. I spoke to another person that was because Jinn, yeah, get this, the Jinn, DJINN, which are elementals, but they are very prevalent in places like Arabia and in the East, but mostly. We have Dogman, we have Bigfoot. A lot of times they have Jinn, and witches tend to over there.
Big giants out there as well. Red-headed giants, which is well known in Arabia and that for them.
Yeah, and they have cats' heads. Their natural look would be having a cat's head, which is absolute. I find incredible, an absolute opposite to what we have.
Like Anubis, you know, the Egyptian god. It's a similar shape.
Yeah,
I mean, every culture around the world have the same similar shape-ish.
Yeah, for sure.
In you know, culture. So you know, where does this actually come from and why? Obviously, they've seen it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like kind of it's starting to lose. It's not mythology, because mythology is basically, isn't it? Mythology is an elaborated story with a meaning, with a meaning behind it that tells a lesson. You know, fly too high to the sun, and you're going to get burnt. But it uses mythology and characters, and you know, so Dogman, Jinn, Bigfoot, they're not mythology at all. So what are they? They are. I would like to say they don't exist, but they do because I and other people have witnessed them, like yourself. We've witnessed them. We've spoken to people that witnessed them. So if people witness these things, are they lying? No. Some may
Not all
be.
of them can be lying.
Not all of them can be lying.
No, you can put it down to maybe one or two, but that's about it, really. If that.
Yeah, that's right. You know, there might be sort of a few jump on the bandwagon. Oh, I've seen one as well.
Right.
You know, but it you know, in the grand scheme of things, you know, not everyone. Not everyone is lying.
I've got two cases in files that's been proven there was lying. I won't go into the names, but there was a famous one in the whole Daily Mail. And it's got a connection with Most Haunted on the TV. Can you remember that one?
I do remember that one.
I just said Gemma. I won't say her last name, but I'll just say Gemma.
Yeah, I do know. I know exactly. Yeah, I do know now.
I do know the truth. What happened? She was going out with one of them, and they dumped her, and that's why she made this thing up. But anyway, that's
yeah. So it's getting back to it. What is it? Okay, so we've got. If you look at it logically, okay, we've got witness testimony of people seeing Dogman, Bigfoot, Jinn, all these entities, but when you go looking for them, or you look for maybe if when they lose their life, maybe they're a skeleton or their remains, you can't find it. There's no actual evidence, no fossil records for them. But then you have to think to yourself that there's never been one complete fossil found of any dinosaur yet.
right. They reckon, I don't know how true it is, but I reckon Bigfoot to bury the dead. There's a university in America, again, it fails me. They got a deer, staked it down, really did tie it up, really with steel cables, buried the stakes right down, so no animal could get it off, like a bear or cougar or whatever. Within a week, there wasn't even a trace of it. The time lapse that the carcass from a tree, and you could see these predators coming in, taking a bit. And within a week, well, less than 7 days, it's gone. Not in a trace of it. The only was there was the wire that used to have the legs tied down. So you know, anything that dies in any, it's going to go. Not so much in England, but over there they've got so much wildlife compared to us. So that's another theory, and there's
Yeah, but then Cole, you have to think also with us. We've been around. How long have we been around? Not us personally, because I mean, but
well, I don't know. You see, I think personally the history books are wrong. There's a lot of stuff now. They've even found, I think it's in Mexico. I was reading a while back, and they discovered obviously a mud bed that's gone out turned to rock, and there's dinosaur prints and there's human prints. That hadn't stayed soft, and them dinosaur prints hadn't stayed there for thousands of years, then man's come along, has it? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they must have existed within, say, a week.
Yeah,
history books really wants. I mean, I think they've just done some DNA tests on a. This is another thing with the canines. Candid was the dinosaurs for dogs that evolved into dogs, which used burrows as rabbits. I think it was 35, 40 million years ago. This is just off the top of my head, I could be wrong here. And they evolved into dogs, but they found one in Germany. I can't think of the place, but again, and that was they dated that I think to about 30,000 years, 35,000 years ago. So man and dog was existing together as we do now as pets. This dog had an injury. It says it had an injury such it couldn't hunt, but the sort of the injury, it must have healed. So somebody's taking care of it, and it wasn't other dogs. It was human because it was buried with a human. So it's. I think we've been on this earth a lot longer than history books there, to be honest. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, there was those French, very old French cave paintings. I did yeah, that's it. I did because they drew what we would call the horned god, of the forest. They drew that on the wall for a start, and also dogs, wolves with hunting, with man hunting, not again. It's not battling, using, and so we have got a long association with them, and we've got Alexander the Great. I mean, it's with history.
Was it him that had 2 special dogs? Or was it King? Was it English king? Didn't he had some 2 unusual dogs?
English king.
Heck, my memory.
What had unusual dogs?
Yeah, it's very unusual dogs. Apparently, very unusual dogs. More man than wolf. Apparently, I can't remember which king it was. Oh, don't make my memory. This is the problem. We read that much. There's that much going around in your head.
I know. That's the thing, isn't it? That's why it sort of blanks after a while. Yeah, it does. It sort of blanks out. Yeah. I know there was I know, talking about kings, I know there was a story, and it was I think it was Pike's Peak, about a werewolf head being put on the top of Pike's Peak, and this werewolf was I was approached ages and ages ago, and do you know what? I tried to track the woman down. I cannot track her down. And sometimes it's ever so odd in this game. Another grey area, right? Not team skeptic, not team believer. Team grey area. That's what we are. sometimes, do you ever take footage or take messages and then they just disappear?
Yeah.
Footage, photos, and you think, where the hell was that gone? And it's gone. And you're like, what? Anyway, she messaged me, right? This lady did. And when she was in
James.
Huh?
Oh, King James I. Sorry.
Oh, King James I, yeah.
Metro, yeah.
That was him.
Yeah, it could
If you can tell us what dogs it was, that'd be brilliant as well. You know, and we'll name the show after you then for putting in all your work. We ain't got a clue.
We're just winging it. Are we sounding good?
I don't know. God knows. Yeah. She messaged and she said, you know, Phil, she said, have you heard the story about the werewolf head in Pikes Peak? I said, no, actually. And she said, yeah. And what happened was how story goes was, I think it was not King James. It was a young prince who was to be king, who went out on a hunting party on the moors, and anyway, he came across a witch, and this witch, it reputedly turned into a wolf. It bit him. Now, I must get the details up. I must get the details up for you, but it bit him, and they killed the wolf. They killed the werewolf, and they put his head on the top of a tower, which is Pikes Peak. And anyway, he took the phone, and nearly every battle he won, he had superhuman strength. He won nearly every battle. People were saying he was like kind of one of the most fittest, most boldest, strongest. Absolutely. When it comes to fighting, he was incredible. He was a standout, because usually, with kings and that, they kind of stay back and like, yeah, go on, you go off and fight. I'll stay here. Go on, you go.
So
and then,
I think I've read that, but he met a demon or something.
No, werewolf, and it was a witch that turned into a werewolf.
Which it could be true, because I was reading something a couple of days ago about Greek mythology, and that's apparently when the first ever recorded transformation from human to wolf. I can't remember I'll have to look back onto it again, but yeah, it was Greek. But yeah, that's interesting, is that?
Yeah, it's because what happened was, they used it. They used that mythology that he was bitten and turned into. He had this superhuman strength from a werewolf bite.
Yeah.
They used it in a Doctor Who episode, and
Really?
the Doctor Who episode was featured, but Queen Victoria. Can't remember what. Information overload. Don't ask me the actual episode name, but do you know what we need? We need one of those scripts that come up on the screen, and we just
That's what we
read
need.
it.
Yeah, isn't it? You have to tell me next time, and I'll try and do a bit of homework.
Mate, I'll tell you what, right? If you hold up what I've got to say, I'll hold up what you got to say. How about that? So they've done a Doctor Who episode specifically because of that, about that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because the writer done a specific episode on it. Yeah, incredible story. And you think to yourself, where did these like kind of ideas come from about the symbiotic relationship between a dog and a human like that? And
is it Johnny's whispers? Does it get added on down the line, or is it is it myth and legend? Is it truth? It's, you don't know, do you? You can't say it. But obviously, behind every myth and legend, there is some truth. I think there is.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I think some of these, I think a lot of this myth and legends, I think, they're not just plucked out of someone's imagination. I think they are based on, even from the point of, there's some genesis moment in the past that, and then it's been kind of elaborated on and but yeah, there's some genesis moment to every every folklore kind of, you know,
Yeah, I
story
agree.
out there, you know.
Mhm.
Right. So is there anything else you want to talk about?
When am I getting paid?
Never. When I get paid, you'll get paid.
No, I can't think about it, Phil.
You do it for the love of it, Cole. You do it for the love of it.
I do it because you're a legend, Phil. That's why I do it.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Roxy B said Tooth and Claw, the Doctor and Rose, David
David
Tennant.
Tennant.
That was the episode, Tooth and Claw.
Right.
Thank you very much for that.
Okay.
Yeah, have
Never
look
seen
that
it,
up.
so I don't know. Right.
Yeah, no, check that one out. It's
I
and
used to
there was a
watch
King
Doctor Who
John
years
that was
ago,
said to be a
but
werewolf.
I
Yes,
think
that was
it's
it. King John.
King
That
John.
was the one. Yeah, that was the one. And they the hunting he was part, thank you for that. He was part of a
Written
hunting
on Cannock
party.
Chase.
And it was out with a hunter, because Cannock Chase was a royal hunting forest, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like
it
a lot
was.
of
Yeah,
forests.
yeah. I've read that.
And yeah, and the witch turned into a werewolf, so the story goes. I only know this because the girl done like a thesis on it. You know, she done a account for her uni.
Like an essay. Yeah.
Yeah, for an essay. Yeah. So she done an account, she done an essay, and because they asked her what do you want, and she said local area. Oh, I'll do a thing on that. And the more she dug into it, the more she got interested by it, and she
Sure.
just, yeah, that's it. I was in traveling back from Wales at the time. I was staying in a travel lodge when she messaged, and I was like, and it just struck me. I was like, wow, what? No way. And I read it, and I read her account, and I was like, oh no. Do you think I can find it now? No.
No, I can't. After the stuff that I've researched in the past, I just can't find it online at all. That's why I keep making notes, and then I go back to my notes and I think, what the heck did I write that for? I'm totally lost. And my filing system is absolutely atrocious. I went through it the other day and I was finding bits in that file and bits in that file. Oh, and they belong together. I don't know. It's all.
But the online stuff, I tell you what, I store stuff online, and it not all the while, but just occasionally, like her messages she sent me in a copy of the account and stuff that she read up on, and gone. And I know I saved it. Another one.
Yeah.
Do you remember you and with Ian Wood as well? And I said, oh yeah, I've got the there was I've got that. I'll dig it out. I'll get the video. There's a short video I was going to show you. Yeah. Gone. Cannot find it. And yet I know I saved it.
I think we have little gremlins that like to move things about, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's
the
like,
government, one of them.
All the government. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, all the government. Yeah. Where is the Dogman werewolf, the king killed, buried? Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
King
Do you know?
Well, the story I was told was that they killed it, cut the head off, and they mounted the head on a tower. There was a large tower, like Pike's Peak,
like a watchtower. Yeah.
No. Like these towers are really strange, and you can't get into it. It's got a doorway at the bottom. You can't get into it. They're and I don't know what they were for, but there could have been a watchtower. But they're pointed. They're basically like, you know, the Cleopatra's Needle.
Yeah.
Like Cleopatra's Needle in the middle of a moor. Is that a watchtower?
Pass.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
Why would it ever had a pointy top like Cleopatra's Needle? Yeah, because bless her heart, she showed me. She showed me. She sent me a photo. I was like, oh, I lost it. Oh, God, Christ, I don't know where it would have gone. But yeah, yeah,
well,
really amazing story.
They cut his head off. Then they must have done something with his body.
Yeah,
even ate it, maybe, but you know, it's got to be somewhere, isn't it?
It's got to be somewhere. It's got to be somewhere. Yeah, you know, and that's the thing, isn't it? But
it's documented. This is it. It's like saying it's in the corner of that yard over there, but is it being documented? Is it true? You know, you don't know without digging it up.
Yeah.
You start digging it up, you start getting the boys in blue.
Yeah, we only have to. Yeah, but you think about this, right? We only have to look back 300-400 years, and then, but well, even 300 years after that point, everything starts to blur into mists.
Yeah, it
Nothing
does.
really is. There's nothing concrete past 300 years with
I'd
our
say about
history.
200. I'd say, yeah, it seems to get blurry.
Yeah, and you think to
1800s
yourself,
are quite documented, even though they're a bit mish and mash. And then I think after that, it's just what?
yeah, and, and I find that strange. Don't you find that strange? Because there was written word. People
Yeah,
knew how
there
to.
was written word. I don't think it was a lot of things. Well, not a lot of people could read and write. I mean, still can't
They couldn't.
nowadays.
No.
But, I mean,
No.
then it was
No.
to get an education in them days. You got to be rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
So that's why a lot of things weren't recorded.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Really?
Yeah, I suppose that could be. And a lot of things word of mouth, wasn't it? So hence the.
It was, yeah, like bedtime stories. Get to sleep,
Yeah.
or the Sandman will come, or things like that.
Yeah. No. I
That's
guess
how legends begin, isn't it? Really, bedtime stories.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But it's like, but yeah, like the old Greek mythology, isn't it? There's always an
Campsite fires,
underlying. Yeah, there's always an underlying kind of lesson to be learned, isn't there? It's a
Yeah,
kind
the
of way
Greeks
of
are
doing
quite
it.
good. They was pretty good. I think they're pretty good at recording stuff. The Vikings was absolutely amazing. Diary keepers, the Vikings. People just think they was there for pillaging and raping, but there wasn't. There was a really sort of like good side to them, really.
Yeah.
It's all mismatched over the years, and people like to think because it's exciting. Oh, the Vikings are coming, they're going to kill us, blah blah blah. That's the Vikings, but it wasn't really. Not when you look into it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's tell you what does fascinate me, which we should talk about, I think, next time, is berserkers.
Why? Go on.
But
Any
they're the
particular reason?
ones that, yeah, because they throughout history we've always had people that put on animal skins and assume the traits of that said animal. And berserkers used to put on like wolves skins,
Skins. That's
and
correct. Yeah.
and they used to kind of rally themselves up into a frenzy with the use of kind of mushrooms and other bits and bobs before going out and kind of but even when they rallied themselves and they went out and they just like kind of undeaded a lot of people, if you like, or unlived a lot of people. What was said about them, when you look, what was said about them was they were super strong. They were a lot of times they would run on all fours awkwardly, not natural, but they would run on all fours.
Look at that French 1760s, was it? I can't think off the top of my head, really can't know. Where 300 people got killed. Help me out here because I can't remember think. But I've actually read some cases it could have been a serial killer because there was a guy in a village that he got caught wearing a sheep's skin, naked, but wearing a sheep's skin and crawling about on all fours. I mean, he got away, but it could have been him. It could have been a serial killer, killed all them people. Not necessarily.
Well, you've got that famous one in where was it? Southend-on-Sea. That guy that said he was a werewolf.
Werewolf. That's right. Yeah, remember that.
Yeah, and he even went to the point of how it started off. If I remember rightly, how it started off was he was in the garden. He was young. He was in the garden, and his cold breeze hit him. And then after the cold breeze hit him, he started craving meat. He started getting mood swings. He for no reason at all, he believed himself to be a wolf, but his sense of smell improved, eyesight improved. As he got older, he couldn't trust himself so much. He went to the local police station in Southend-on-Sea, begging them
Yeah.
begging them to put him into be in the jail, in prison. He did go. There was if I remember rightly, there was one episode with him where he did hurt someone by accident, really, I suppose. But there was a woman that was about to be attacked or mugged. He went into the fender. It was kind of the wrong time of the month for him. And it was like moon was in the right, full moon or crescent moon. There's different people that say different things about that. It's not necessarily a full moon. They often say that if you go out in a crescent moon, you'll see Dogman stuff. But anyway, and he jumped this guy, got him to the floor, and the guy got up and ran off. But then the police came, and it took 4 police officers
to get him down. Yeah.
And these policemen were big. Two of them huge young fellas, strapping young fellas, and it took 4 of them to get him under control and put him in a police cell. They didn't charge him, but they kept him in overnight. But there was police records of this as well. There was police records. I tried to look for the police records, but I couldn't find them on this case, because they would be very interesting.
Information.
I think you'd have to get that, wouldn't you? Yeah, freedom of information on that.
Police forces. Some I've never had a thing back. Some I've had things back. Yeah, it's hard to put. Have you seen any hairy creatures on patrol? You know, it's it's wording it is the problem.
And he didn't do any of this, Cole. He didn't do any of this for notoriety or anything. If anything, he was your typical kind of was it oh God, what was that werewolf guy? Tom Lane, not John Laney. Oh, I forgot his name now. Years ago in the black and white films, you gotta chain me up. You can't let me out. You gotta chain me up. Yeah. Remember the old black and white Hammer films?
I can picture him and I can't even think of his name. Yeah, go on.
Something Laney, wasn't it? Laney?
I'm sure it is Laney.
Yeah, something Laney. I'm sure it is. And yeah, you got to try. And he was just like that. But they said that he had absolutely super strength, just like the berserkers. He assumed. He didn't change. He didn't turn into a werewolf, but his whole persona was werewolf. That's the difference. Physically, no, but his whole persona, his eyesight improved. He said his eyesight was improved.
The man's amazing thing, really.
And then he disappeared. Yeah, he just disappeared. He disappeared off radar, totally off radar.
I thought he was sectioned.
No,
really?
No, it wasn't. No, as I understand it, I went digging around in the story quite a bit, and as I tried to, I could be wrong. I usually am, Cole. You know that. I usually am. But I did go digging around in the story, and evidently he kind of he drifted away. He moved, and then everything went kind of quiet. And because I wanted to get in contact with him, I wanted to obviously he's a big one to try and get hold of, if you can get hold of him. But couldn't track him down.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't go into too much detail, but when I was doing an investigation years ago, I got told about this guy had been to Scotland in a similar situation, and things had happened, and he ended up killing himself. I don't want to go into too much detail because I've asked for the family not to. Look, he had amazing strength. So what is it to do with the man? I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't get any detail. I wanted to go see him. He got sectioned. He kept refusing my request, and in the end, a friend of his contacted me and said, "Look, I've got some bad news. He's just topped himself." You know, I don't want to swear, but you know, yeah, you think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But apparently
Yeah.
he was strong. You know, so
Lon Chaney Jr.
yeah, sorry, yeah. I was it Junior. Oh, right, it must have been. I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for
Yeah,
that,
the
Keith.
man is amazing tool.
So that's the thing which kind of is kind of intriguing, isn't it? Is it within all of us? Does that mean that it's within all of us? It's just that it has to trigger. Is it? Are we like berserkers? Do we have to trigger it?
There's
to
been a lot of
get
cases
this?
in the UK. There was a cafe, and there was only a young lad, and he ripped the door off. You know, it boils down to like the Incredible Hulk theory, doesn't it? So you get mad, you get angry, you get incredible strength. You know.
Yeah. There was that famous one in the States with that American lady, wasn't it? Same thing, same type of thing. Car rolled over. Her kiddie was inside the car, and I think it like the engine was going to catch fire or did catch fire. Anyway, she pushed the whole of this. I mean, the American cars back in the day, they were huge, weren't they? All the
Big,
Cadillacs
yeah.
and stuff. Pushed it, actually pushed it right all the way over, so it was on all four wheels again. It was on its roof. And I mean, you'd need at least I'd say about at least 10 guys to do that. 8
Easy.
guys,
Yeah.
easy.
7 or 8,
To push a big car over like that. So
That's
it's
adrenaline.
incredible. It's the adrenaline, yeah. But is it something more than that? That's the thing. Is it something which is more primordial within us? That's what I'm.
It probably is,
So
yeah.
change someone's eyesight so that they kind of like they were short-sighted, they were long-sighted, they're but to accentuate their eyesight so that they can see 10 times better. He told there was one bit where I read that he said that his eyes were quite bad, weren't too good before, but his eyesight improved dramatically and he could see different shades of color. And they said, no, it's impossible. You can't. We can only see a small spectrum. He said, no. I have experienced incredible strength and courage many times in emergency situations. Oh, right. Okay. Yes.
There it is.
Yeah. That's it right there, isn't it?
Yeah, I've read quite no cases where people just incredible strength, and you'd never do it in a month of Sundays. There's no happening, but so when it's emergency situation, it's your man's ever done it, and it just pumps your body full of adrenaline. You've got incredible strength. Now, if you can keep it up all day long like a wolf, I don't know. It's
it's more, but yeah. I mean, what I was like, kind of thinking really is you can have a rush of adrenaline. That's fine, and you can do incredible things with a rush of adrenaline. Because you the myosin acting in your muscles, and everything gets engorged with oxygen, and it kind of like you just kind of just go mental, like the Incredible Hulk. But what I find difficult to envisage it changing is your eyesight, the sense of smell.
What was that? Roxanne just put. Sorry.
Oh, was it? What did you put?
I don't know. I missed it. Sorry.
I missed that as well. Oh, yeah. I'm dribbling on again. Yeah. So don't know. It's one of these things which it's in voodoo. They often use it. In Quimbanda and Brazilian voodoo and stuff like that. They often assume animal
Spirits.
skins and traits. Yeah. Yes, very much so. And there's one voodoo. I won't say it on here. There's one voodoo ritual that I know of over there where they actually the people are meant to their legs below the knee change and they begin to have hooves. They have like animal legs below the knee and they have hooves. Their feet change into hooves. And that's been documented quite a few times.
Wow.
With voodoo.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I spoke to another lady about this, and
Which was, sorry.
yeah, no, was it? And have many witnesses to validate this. I mean, freak strength for my size. I've scared myself. Wow. Okay. It's does it happen when you're at times of stress, or does it happen, when do you have to be in
I don't want to
cornered?
put a damper on this, but you've gone 2 hours. I don't know if you
Yeah, we should. Right. Thank you, Cole. Cole, obviously, check him out. I'll put a description in this. The Dark 66. Brilliant, brilliant guy. Honestly, wealth of knowledge. Except for when he's on air.
Is that about me then? We had another guest on.
But no, it's a pleasure having you on. Thank you very much. And
You're welcome anytime.
yeah, and for myself as well. We shall we'll do this again, definitely. We'll definitely do this again.
Thank you.
Hopefully I won't have yep. Thank you very much for that as well. Yeah, it is good. And I think we'll let Roxy take us out of this. I'll take us off.
Yes,
and yeah,
thank
she's
you
the best
for
one.
the invite again, and thanks everybody basically listening to me rabble on about nothing really.
Yeah, and me as well.
If it's been interesting, please let us know.
Well, it's been like anything, it's like if you just take away a little bit out of it, and I appreciate everyone that's come on and everyone that's joined and had their say. And I'm sorry for the technical issues, really am. It's been a real ball ache, isn't it? Absolute ball ache. But yeah, I'll nail it next week. I'll probably set up a studio in the toilet or something. I don't know. All right then. That'd be something different. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Carl. Right, and it's thank you for me, and I'll let Roxy lead us out.
Well, that was some chat. I'd just like to say thanks, Colin. It was absolutely brilliant having you there tonight. Helped calm Phil down after his emergency situation there with no sound. And I'd like to also thank Dawn and Kate for keeping the chat going, and all the guys with their comments. They were fantastic. And yeah, keep it up. And we will see you again next week. Have a great weekend, guys.